We're back with UMass President Marty Meehan. Mr. President, you were talking a little bit about applications being up for next semester in the fall. Part of that application, of course, is the SAT and ACT exams, and they are undergoing dramatic reevaluation during this entire pandemic. What's going to be your policy as the students apply?
Well, for now, we've waived, and it's not necessary to take the ACT or the SAT. They do that by a campus-by-campus basis, but I think there's a lot of evidence to suggest that there are also other indicators that, that might be more effective in terms of evaluating students. That having been said, you know, as colleges and universities are more challenged and the competition becomes tougher, we're also interested, all of our campuses at UMass are nationally ranked Tier 1. We want to keep those rankings too, because those rankings are important to keep students coming to the University of Massachusetts. So we're going to evaluate that campus by campus and make those decisions. Some of our campuses already don't require an SAT or an ACT.
There are a lot of top tier colleges that are now reevaluating whether they want to permanently get rid of SATs or ACTs. Is that something that you would consider as well?
Yes, we are considering that on a campus-by-campus basis, absolutely. And I think you'll see more and more universities around the country coming to that kind of conclusion. As long as we have enough evidence that a student is prepared to do well at the University of Massachusetts, we're considering all options.
Yeah, but as you know, Marty, not everyone can take a test, but that doesn't mean they're incapable of getting a college education. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So that's why in many instances we've waived it. Even before the pandemic, some of our campuses already allow a waiver, and depending on the circumstances, any of the campuses can waive that requirement. And as I said, for now, that requirement has been waived on all of our campuses.
So let's talk about the bigger picture of the world we live in. With a Democrat about to move into the White House, and Democrats still in the majority in the House and perhaps in the Senate, but that's still to be determined. Of course, you once served in the House. Are there ever moments that you wish you were still back in the fray at D.C.? Ever?
Not one moment. I will
not
say,
one moment?
Not one moment. Look, I have my hands full doing what I'm doing. I have kept my relationships that I have in Washington. I'm excited. I've known Joe Biden a long time. I'm excited. You know, he's the first president to attend a public university since Lyndon Baines Johnson. So I'm looking for great things. His wife is a community college teacher. So I'm excited that this administration will make a commitment to public higher education, a stronger commitment than what we've had in the past. But no, I don't miss it. There hasn't been one day when I've missed it.
You didn't even hesitate.
No, I haven't.
And you're pretty, you were not surprised by John Kerry's inclusion into the cabinet? No,
Secretary Kerry is very close with Joe Biden. He got very involved in the campaign early on. And John Kerry has this real commitment to public service, and I think particularly when it comes to climate change, he's negotiated the Paris Accords. I think that that position fits with him quite well. And frankly, I think you need to have good, experienced people in the government in Washington. So I'm excited for Secretary Kerry, but I'm excited for the country too.
And I misspoke, it's not the cabinet, but definitely part of the senior staff there.
Yes.
As the president of the UMass system, are you excited or frightened about the next 8 months, 10 months that are ahead of you?
Well, they're going to be difficult, that's for sure. But let's face it, since March, we've been in a crisis situation. I hope what happens in Washington, I hope that Joe Biden can heal some of the divisions in the country. I was really excited about the fact that more young people voted. Tufts University did an analysis, and it's up 10, 12%. It might go up more as we get more data. Young people engaged and involved. And I think that's good for the country. So I'm hoping better days are ahead, but obviously I'm concerned with how we get out of this mess. I also think the federal government needs to do an aid package, and they have to think about public higher education in this country and what we need to do to improve it. And I think the federal government can be a partner.
Our thanks again to UMass President Marty Meehan for joining us this morning. The roundtable is next here on OTR. John Kerry couldn't quite win the White House, but he certainly made a mark there. His new role as Biden's environmental czar. We'll talk about that straight ahead.